Right, okay, hello and welcome to another grinding session. Yeah, grinding session number 3 now of this little thing that we're doing. I mean, this is actually a little different for me because I'm not used to these like not unscripted, but these like kind of free-form kind of videos, you know what I mean? Okay, right, so, yeah, so grinding session number 3, this time with commentary. The last couple wasn't. I don't think some people read the channel post properly because I'd say they're going to be without commentary. Basically, the whole aim of these videos was just filler videos or bonus videos where people could watch if they want or not. I'm not really too bothered. It's just mainly just showcasing the progress and not to mention just fill the void really whilst we're doing this. But yeah, so I was asked to do commentary. That's fine, no problem. I was going to do commentary in the last one, but actually post-commentary, but I never got around to doing it. But hey, at least we're doing the third one now. At least doing commentary for the third one. So we're just going to carry on like normal. Okay, so we made a bit of progress from last time. So Fyrion's got some HP up. Cure 5, Maria, Scott, Blizzard 9, Fire 9. Want to work on Thunder 9, Curse 9, Toad 9, and then the rest is just going to go into Flare, I think. And then for Guy, I'm just trying to get Ultimate to level 5 as well, and not to mention, Ultimate has been scaling it very nicely, so that's going to be pretty cool. Apart from that, it's just getting HP and MP and other stuff, really, so I think maybe 4 more sessions should be done? We'll see. Okay, so, basically when it comes to the commentary, I'm just going to just talk a load of bollocks, basically. That's all I'm doing. And I am going to be, primarily just... I might get distracted for time to make sure I'm doing things properly. But I do have some topics to talk about. I do have a few things that we can just talk about and can listen to and stuff. So, the Final Fantasy series, I think for the first topic, I think it's best if we talk about what is the first Final Fantasy I have ever played. So, what's interesting is that my entry into the, my introduction into the Final Fantasy series was actually quite late on. It was actually quite a modern one. Let me think. So, in 2005, was it 2005, I think? It was. I was in my first year of high school, right? So, the yearly development here in the UK is a lot different from maybe the vast majority of the world, maybe. See, we have 2 schools, basically 2 levels of schools. In America, you've got what? Elementary, middle, and high school. Well, here we have primary school and secondary school. Well, we do call secondary school high school, but yeah. So in terms of the yearly development, it starts from, primary school starts from being 4-year-old and finishes when you are 11 years old, I believe. So that's from years 1 to 6, we call it. But in terms of actual biological age, it's 4 to 11. And then in high school, it's years 7 to 11, where the biological age is 12 to 16. So I was in year 7, I was 12-year-old at this point, I think. And my first high school had a residential unit. This means that for kids who lived quite a way away from their school, or they just wanted to hang out with schoolmates after the cast Flare, I meant cast Thunder, or hang out with schoolmates after school and get a dinner and sleep over in a room and stuff. Yeah, but that's what we had with the residential unit. So I stayed Monday to Wednesday. I actually enjoyed it and I was hanging out with some school pals and stuff. But the cool thing is, this residential stick had a reward system. So basically, depending on how you behaved, you know, you did your chores right, you listened to whoever was your staff at the time, and yada yada, you would gain points. And your points could be accumulated into different kinds of rewards. And every quarter of the year, you could trade these points in for certain rewards. One of the ones that I went for was mainly the monetary ones. You can exchange 1,000 points for 10 units of currency. I'm just going to say pounds in this rate, but you can go dollars or whatever. So you can go 1,000 for 10, 2,500 for 25, and then you can go 5,000 for 50. And mainly 50 is like at the end of the year, if you will. So I exchanged 1,000 for $10 or whatever. And basically with that $10 I can go anywhere within a reasonable distance from the school with staff, and I can exchange that for something. So I went to a local film and video game rental store, Blockbusters. Yep, gotta miss that store quite a bit. Oh, the Windflow, nice. And basically, instead of renting, I could buy some video games. And that's when I came across my first entry into the Final Fantasy series, Final Fantasy X. Now, to let you know, you're going to have to Google everything. If you want to know what this game's like, you're going to have to Google it yourself, because I'm not going to be doing any editing. So I can't do any, pictures or anything like that. So apologies. But yeah, Final Fantasy X was my first entry. And I remember bringing it back to the residential unit. We had a PlayStation 2 in one of the gaming rooms, and I thought, I'll just give it a play before, I call it a night and then back to school and all that. And I really did enjoy it. But do you want to know the irony? The more I played it as I got older, and the more I watched YouTube playthroughs and everything on it, I fucking hated it now. I despise the game now. Yeah, it's just a mixture of the story and the characters that I cannot stand. I hate half the party members that you get in that game. Honestly, it's just the game. Like, the game is supposed to be like this beautiful, serious story, and I will admit, it is classed as one of the best stories in modern gaming in that generation. I use Ultima there. But the problem is, like, there's just certain points where you just think, why? Do you know what I mean? Like, why is this character doing this? Why is this character turning out to be like this? You know what I mean? And like I said, like, half the cast I completely despise. The main character, you can Google these people if you want to know what I'm on about. The main character, who I'll talk about in a second. I'm doing thunder, there we go. Yuna, Waka, and Lulu. The only three that I don't like, or actually do like, the only three that I really like is Kamari, Riku, and Auron, because they are really, really down to earth. Like, a little bit like more sensible with their personalities and stuff, unlike the others. Now, the main character, his name is spelled Tidus. So the question is, Defi, what sided pronunciation you're on? Is it Tidus or Tidus? Now, the British in me wants to call it... Oh, another elixir. Yeah, I'm not going to say no to that. The British in me wants to go Tidus, because, tide as in the water, because, Final Fantasy II is very water-orientated, right? That's what I was thinking. But I've actually started calling him Tidus because he's fucking tedious. Yes, tedious, because I just hate his character. I really fucking honestly. Oh, I would kick him off a cliff if I would. But do you know what's the irony is? I prefer the sequel, Tentu, which is the one that a lot of people don't like. A lot of people don't like Tentu just because, I don't know, I think it's just because it's the opposite of the main story, because it's a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more goofy and stuff. But that's the reason why I like it, because FF10 takes itself way too seriously in my opinion. And I like 10-2 just because it just feels a little bit more upbeat and natural to me, So yeah, so that was FF10, my first introduction to the series. And then after that, my second game that I played in the series was Final Fantasy XII, which I'm still playing today. That is my... that's either my second favourite or my third favourite. More leaning towards my second, actually. See that there? Ultimate 6,000 HP now. Crazy. Honestly, Ultimate is amazing. So yeah, FF12 is just... I like FF12. I think that's like the first game I proper... learned RPG mechanics and stuff from. It was just such an interesting, game when I first played it. I actually got stuck on it quite a few times at this one boss fight. I'm just gonna say Dreadnought Leviathan for anyone that's played it. Yeah, that boss. I was stuck on that part for ages. And I just couldn't get past it. I went back to it like time and time again. And from there, I did actually manage to get past it. And then I think from there, my third. And then from there, the next game I played of the FF series was FF13. Which, to be fair, it's a game that a lot of people don't like. I love it personally. I love the 13 series. I love 13-1 the best. 13 has two different sequels. It's got 13-2, which arguably a lot of people think is an upgrade. I personally think it's a downgrade, personally. That's just me. But the third game, Lightning Returns as well, 13-3. I got mixed opinions about that one. I like it, but it's a bit different from the traditional FF setup, in my opinion. But it's alright. So yeah, so those were the main three modern ones I played, and then from there, I think I went back to the old ones actually. I think I started with I think my next one I played after that was Final Fantasy V, I believe. Yeah, I played FF5 after that, and then I think from there I just yeah, after FF5, because I remember I played Final Fantasy V on emulator, but then the next big Final Fantasy game for me that I spent hours, and I mean hours, was Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2, which is a grid-based, turn-based strategy version of the Final Fantasy series, where you had like job classes and you could like have like different types of characters and races and level them up and they give them different abilities and build them up and blah blah blah. That was the one I poured a lot of time into because, again, when I was back in high school, when I was in year 9 this time, my family and I went on holiday to a place in the north of Scotland. And we went to a town right at the north of Scotland called Inverness. And we went out for some dinner. And there was a game store. Now here's the thing, at this point I knew about Final Fantasy Advance 2, Tactics Advance 2. And I've always wanted to play it. And it was at this point where we passed it and I saw it on sale in one of the local game shops. And I begged my parents, can I get it? Do you know what I mean? Honestly, I begged them. At first, like, they were like, no, you know, it's, you know, we came on holiday, you know, blah, blah, blah. And at first, like, I was like, alright, sure, you know, that's fine. I could play it, like, later on in life or whatever, but I don't know. I think, like, a few steps, they kind of, like, changed their mind. I'm like, sure, you know, it'll be a good momentum and all that. And, yeah, they bought it, and when we got back to where we were staying at the time, I just plugged it into my DS, and I had never took it out again, and I spent hours playing that game. Absolutely loved it, so I can't wait to play that in the future. But this is where we're going to get to my main topic, and it's how is the series going to progress in terms of the channel. So, you know, I'm pretty sure common viewers will realize by now the way I do things. Whenever I'm playing a series, I like to do it retrospectively. So I start from the beginning and then I work my way up to the modern entries. But the thing about Final Fantasy is that it has quite a bunch of spin-off series. So it's the Tactics series mentioned. So where do we go with this? Well, my original idea was to make a start onto the on the main series, which I've done, and then wait till I'm about 4 games in, and then start on one of the side series. Now, the thing is though, Final Fantasy has quite a few side series. It's got the Tactics series that I mentioned. There's 3 games in that series that I mentioned. You've got Final Fantasy Tactics, the original, on the PlayStation 1 and PSP remake on the PSP. And then you got Final Fantasy Tactics Advance on the Game Boy Advance, and then you got Advance 2. Excuse me for a second. Yeah, sorry, I think I just got that on time. Then you got Advanced Tactics on the original Nintendo DS, right? But that's not it. There's also some other side series as well, like the Crystal Chronicles. What else is there? Jeez, what else is there? There is other series I can think of. I know there's other series, but I can't think of the top of my head. But basically, there is quite a few different series. But the problem is as well, is that certain entries in the main series has a bunch of either remakes that add some extra content, or some direct sequels, like I mentioned with 10 and 10-2. And obviously 13 and 32 as well. 12 has a sequel as well. But there's also some infamous remakes as well that add some extra content as well. So for example, Final Fantasy 4 or 2 in America, you know, before people realized it was more than 2 Final Fantasies, has the Final Fantasy 4 Advanced remake and has a DS remake, each adding a little bit of different content. And the same goes for Final Fantasy V as well. You have the original NES version, and then you have the PlayStation 1 version, and then you have the advanced version that adds some extra stuff as well. So, the question is, how am I going to do this? And the problem is, I've already done one of the side games as well. I've already done one of the side games, which is Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Oh, the Final Fantasy Adventure, that's it. That's another spin-off series as well. So, I think what I'm going to do is, I want to wait until I'm a good few games into the... into the main series, so we're talking maybe FF4 at this point. And then we might start on the side files, or the side whatever. With like, I think I might do the Final Fantasy Legend first, because here's the thing, like, I kinda want to do them, what's the one I'm looking for? Chronologically, to some degree. What I mean is, for example, Final Fantasy Tactics, right? The world of that is in Ivalice, or so. But the thing is, though, about Final Fantasy 1, there is a chance that you can do a side quest to include the main character of Final Fantasy 7, which is Cloud. And I just feel like it's best if I do some of the side series roughly around the same time as their release as some of the games of the main series. So for example, with Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, we're talking... I think Final Fantasy Mystic Quest came out shortly after Final Fantasy 2 NES, as in Final Fantasy 4, I believe. So I think I've done that, so I'll do that just about right, if I do 3 and 4. And then I think the Final Fantasy Legend, I think I'll do with roughly around FF6, I think. But I'm going to put the vast majority of my effort onto the main series. Or just do whatever I want, really. I mean, Bravely Default, for example, which is one of the future games I'm doing, that's a spin-off of the main series as well, with its own, like, let's just be honest, it's with its own story and stuff. But even then, I'm kind of doing that a little different as well, because you see, the Bravely Default series, its game and its sequel, is part of what I like to call the Children of Light series. Actually, saying that, is there a Final Fantasy? Actually, 1 second, is there a Final Fantasy Children of Light? Because that sounds like, that actually does sound like a game, actually. No, not Advent Children. Children of Light, is that right? Ah, yes. So, I'm thinking of Final Fantasy the 4 Heroes of Light. Now, the reason why I mention that is because, let me get my game back up. I like to call it the Children of Light series because Bravely Default is supposed to be a quote-unquote spiritual successor to the 4 Heroes of Light for the DS. So because I'm playing Bravely Default first, I feel like I'm sort of breaking that chain a little bit, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So I think I'm doing I think I'm doing things that's on level, to be honest. what's kind of cool is, though, I've never played the Crystal Chronicles series. In fact, there was a chance for me to play the Crystal Chronicles series on the Nintendo DS, because at the time I had what was called a R4 card, I think. It's either called X4 or R4. And basically, this was like it was like a little sim connected to the DS cartridge, which basically played as a storage card where you can download NES ROMs onto this, and you can play onto your Nintendo DS. And I downloaded it, Crystal Chronicles, or one of the Crystal Chronicles games, but unfortunately I couldn't get it to run. I don't know if it got a faulty. Oh, wait a minute, is that Thunder? Hold on, is that Thunder 9 or so? Nice. I can start working on. Chris then. Perfect. Yeah. So I never got working, and I never had the chance to. Okay, 6. Perfect. So yeah. So it'll be interesting to play that. There's also other fight. Yeah. No, I'm starting to remember. There's also other series. For example, on the PSP, the PlayStation Portable, I believe. There was a Final Fantasy Dissidia, which turned into a one-on-one fighting game. In fact, originally that was supposed to be a Kingdom Hearts. That was supposed to be a Kingdom Hearts fighting game, actually, but they changed it to a Final Fantasy one because apparently the main developer or creator of Kingdom Hearts didn't like that or something. Didn't want characters battling each other, so that was interesting. So yeah, and that's another series I'm going to be doing as well. The no, that's Blind Deafy I Need Curse. So yeah, it's another series I'm going to be doing. And I know Rio is going to love this, but I found out a way to play the Sly 4 game and record it in here. Sly 4 Band of Thieves. No, sorry. Sly 4 Beast of Time, that's it. Yeah, I found a way how to play it on this and record it. See, I've already done the Sly Cooper series, 1, 2, and 3. Playlists are there if you want to watch them. But the problem was, I delayed Sly 4 for the longest time because I didn't know how I was going to record it. See, in the back of my mind I was thinking maybe I could do a PS3 emulator and do that, like similar to like the PS2 emulator that I have, and then record it that way. But as far as I'm aware, the PS3 emulator is still going tests. It's came on leaps and bounds since it was first announced, but it's taking quite a bit. If you know what I mean, it needs to be ironed out. It's going to take a few more years of development for it to work. Anyway, but I forgot, and here's the thing, I actually forgot that Sly 4 was on the PS Vita, and the site where I get my ROMs from, description by the way, they released, or they managed to get hold of a copy of the Vita version. So what I'm going to do is I need to get myself a PS Vita emulator, and then download it and we can play it. And then that means I'm up to date with the Sly series, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty cool. In terms of anything else, what else is going to talk about? There's some other things we're going to talk about as well. See, this is really hard for me because I don't really do things like this, you know? Like, for me at least, like, whenever I do my playthrough videos, in terms of my commentary style, I tend to do, not a play-by-play style commentary, but I tend to, like, focus on what I'm doing at that particular time. But because I'm just doing the same thing over and over, I'm having to rely on more of a free-flow commentary. It's kind of weird. It really is weird, and a bit of a different commentary tone is what I'm doing right now. I guess I'm a little bit more chilled, I suppose. It's interesting. I guess I could talk about series I have in store for the future, maybe? Yeah, I could do. I mean, I'm going to be doing another 10 games confirmed, like, in the future anyway. Let me see what I've got planned. Let me check my Discord. Let's have a look. Let's see what I've got planned. Where's my... There we go. Right. So far, after... Okay, so after Stone Shard, which is the last game I confirmed in that video, we got Grim Dawn, which is an action RPG, and then we got the Metal Slug 1 game that I'm doing. That's like a run and gun game, which is pretty cool. Side scroll shooter. Then after that, we got Pokemon Crystal, which is the second gen Pokemon game. Baldur's Gate 1. And then after that, it's a game called Road Trip Adventure, or Chokyu HG2 in Japanese, which is basically a driving RPG game, which is really good. After that, we're going back to MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, Season 3. And then after that, it's going to be Dynasty Warriors 2. After that, it's a game called Mega Man Legends for the PS1. And then Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, which is a first-person army shooter. Then after that, it's Battletech Season 4. And then after that, it's Dungeons & Dragons Order of the Griffin, which is a D&D game for the TurboGrafx 16. After that, it's the first Medal of Honor for the PlayStation 1. And then after that, it is Paper Mario for the N64. So, we got some good games coming on soon. In fact, to be honest, we got some really good games coming up of the next of this year, actually. I was going to try and get through FF2 first, but it's grinding, and then we can move on to the next game, because we're actually really close to beating this game now. And the next game I'm really looking forward to, which is Age of Wonders Planetfall. I've been looking forward to playing that quite a bit as well, so... SCOP 2 is going very smoothly as well. I mean, it's a nice 180 what I'm doing. I mean, I struggled with that series at the beginning. But things are going a lot more smooth now. I would say a little too easy for my taste, but I'm not going to change anything now. I mean, we'll just enjoy the game for what it is. That's at the end of the day. I have been thinking about maybe doing some sports games. There is one game I do want to play, but I don't know whether to do a full playthrough of it, or just to do maybe to do a little bit of a mini-series. I want to get back into playing Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2005, which is a golf game. I remember playing that game, and I fell in love with it. I really did. I fell in love with it quite a bit. Basically, you can create like your own golfer, and you can go around different golf courses throughout the world. St Andrews in Scotland, for example, I think is one of them. So yeah, I want to get back into that. I don't think I'll do any like football games like FIFA or anything like that. It's not my forte. I might do like, I don't know, maybe some hybrid games like sports and, I don't know, like famous genres and all that, or not famous genres, like famous like series. Like for example, I want to do I've already thought about Mario Kart. Yeah, I've already thought about doing Mario Kart, but what is it called? Mario Soccer Stars, is it? The soccer slash, yeah, the soccer slash European football one. I heard that's supposed to be a lot of fun. So I'm contemplating that one. What else is there? There's some more in there. If I can get a Wii emulator going on, I might do Sonic and Mario the Olympics. I remember playing that and having a blast with it. But I found out that Wii emulators are very tough to set up. Like very tough, so I'll have a look into it. Yeah, there's a few things added to the playlist. Sorry, added to the list. I've got some extra RPGs slash computer RPGs to add. Some more things that's taking my fancy. So yeah, see what happens. Okay, let's go Chris. I'm trying to see if these Hectites will do Siphon or meh, it's fine. I want to try and get some extra MP. That's why I'm trying to take my time with those guys. realized I'm recording for half an hour. Yeah, I want to try and keep these videos roughly around half an hour, 35 minutes or so. If I was playing, I would just like go on for like an hour or so while I was doing other things. Like, for example, if I was like editing videos or watching things, I would play at the same time. But yeah, I mean, I hope you guys have enjoyed this bit. I think I'll go for an extra like 5 minutes or so, and then I'll call it there. So yeah, so this will be Monday's upload. See, normally I do normally I have Sunday nights off and have no upload for Monday. Normally Sundays is my my nights off because Sunday night is D&D night for my group. But D&D ain't on tonight, so that's why I'm doing this instead. So yeah, so 3 videos of this. We should, in theory, be done soon by the session 5, I think. It's like I said, all I want to do is just get Ultimates to 9, then we get Maria's Curse and Toad up to 9, so we can try our best and, you know, flick down if we can. And then Flare, I can level up as we're going through. Because we've already got Ultima doing the heavy lifting near enough, Guy. Okay, let's get a curse. So yeah, so between this episode and the next 2, if you have any topics you want me to talk about, please let me know in the comments and I'll talk about them. But apart from that, I'm gonna have to think about a few things. These are just a couple of things I just had on my mind, just shortly before playing. I thought, yeah, sure, I'll stop after this fight actually. Okay, let's go for another curse. Ultima. Nice. Okay, anything? Oh. Okay then, right, so let's see what we're up to. So, Furion 2437 HP, 35 MP. Rhea 532 HP, so yeah, she's gained a couple hundred HP. That's actually not too bad because she can survive a multi-target here and there now. 216, Guy 3234, Leon 1845, not too bad. Right, let's have a look at the magic. Okay, so we got Blizzard, Flare, Blizzard, Fire, and Thunder up to 9. Chris is now 720, so that's going to take a little bit to get to 9. Toad will take a little bit to get to 9 as well, and then Flare we can just level up as we go along. She's going to take a while to get there, and for Guy we got Ultima 7 with 22 experience, so he's going to get that up now and then. It's cool. Furion's at 67 experience, gaining 1 experience per battle, so we'll get to 90. We'll get to shields and swords 10 eventually. Guy not too fussed about, in all fairness. Leon's at 9 swords, 12. Okay, right, yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Alright, so yeah, like I said, I'm gonna keep this for around half an hour. What I might do is for tomorrow's episode, or yeah, as of the day of this upload, and what I might do for the next grinding session, which will be number 4, I'll write some topics down during the day, and I'll stick them in a notepad, and then I can go back to them like as we're grinding, I can talk a little bit. Okay then, right, well, I'm not going to say my usual outro, because like I said, these are bonus videos, but yeah, if you came across them, and please go check out the main series. Hope you guys enjoyed them. So yeah, so I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. See you later.